Okay, so we've had a good start with the handy model of the brain, and there are certain things that I like to expand on when we're working with complex trauma. So again, you've got your handy model of the brain, looks like this. We've got the brain stem that takes in information through our senses, so sight, smell, taste, touch, sound. And it also controls our automatic body processes like hunger, satiation, pumping our blood through our brains, breathing, all of the things that our body just knows to do without our conscious attention. So all of that's happening in the brain stem. And when we take in information from the outside world through our senses, it runs through this next part of our brain, which has a lot of emotional stuff, the midbrain. Also contains the limbic system, which again is in control of safety and danger. And so if you're taking something in from the outside world and you're noting there's danger, it's going to trigger that fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or fall survival response. Lastly, once we've discovered the feeling, the top and front of our brain becomes engaged, and this is about thinking, assessing, reasoning, complex problem solving, self-awareness. It's prefrontal cortex. It is frontal lobes, parietal lobes, and it's just the parts that are going to help you think through and make sense of everything that's come in through the body and the senses. And through the emotions. The thing is, when we've been through a variety of traumas, it kind of upsets this system. So what happens is if we experience something in our environment that's traumatic, we're taking it in through our senses, it's impacting our unconscious body processes, it's coming in through our emotions, our limbic system is activated, sensing, danger, so fight, flight, freeze, fall, or fawn, and we get a flood of survival chemicals that flood the brain. Cortisol and adrenaline, that kind of severs our contact with the thinking part of the brain when we flip our lids, like in the handy model. Ideally, when we have everything together and we're fairly well resourced and calm, we can take in that information from the outside world, we can have feelings about it, our danger response can be activated, and if we're all together, we can think about whether that danger is present day or if it's something from the past and decide how to respond to it. But when we're at the point of flipping our lids, it just takes some time. Generally, if you've got enough resources and enough calm, it'll just take some time for things to come back together and for you to be able to think more clearly. However, if you've experienced repeated traumas, again and again, really bad things happen to you. You live in a dangerous neighborhood. You're experiencing racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, the impacts of poverty and capitalism on a regular basis. You continue to flip your lid and it becomes harder and harder to bring it back into stasis. And sometimes you can't really get there. And so we do have a lot of people walking around in the world whose lids are flipped. They might get here, they might get here, or some people walk around in a state of flipped lid, for lack of better phrasing. And so sometimes we need a little help. Sometimes it's more than just time that's going to bring us back together. And one of the most effective things is sensory grounding. So again, the information came in through your senses, and we need to intentionally use the senses to calm down at times. So we're thinking about things that can ground yourself into the present moment through your senses. So if we're thinking about things we see, you might have some pictures of loved ones that when you look at them, you calm down. You might see a body of water, and the flow of water calms you down. You might hear some things, some soft, soothing music, maybe the sound of water, other sounds that are soothing to you. You might eat something with a strong flavor like a mint or gum, or have a nice meal. You might use something with a strong smell. A lot of people use essential oils to ground into the present moment because they have such a saturation of smell. Did I miss any? Touch. So sometimes, if you can see all of it, butterfly tapping, just giving yourself a nice massage, touch, taking a walk, anything that's active, sometimes that can help calm you down as well. But again, when you need a little help unflipping your lid, think about your senses.